Hello again, and welcome to today's talk. Um, some of you, perhaps many of you, I think, will remember the Reverend Howard Anningson, who served in this diocese for many years and has retired to Ontario. It was good to hear from Howard yesterday, and he suggested that I shouldn't be talking about being in a basement. He said for a Christian leader it'd be much better to say that I was in a catacomb. But having been to a catacomb, I think this is much more comfortable than that might be. But anyway, in the early 2000s, I went paintballing for the one and only time in my life. It was indoors at an old warehouse in Moncton. I didn't really know what I was letting myself in for. It was cold and it was muddy. Yeah, and it was indoors. And another thing was, I wasn't very good at it. There was one point where I found little plastic balls of paint flying at me from all directions, and some of them really hurt. I left the event muddied and bruised, vowing never to go back, a vow that I have kept. There are days in our lives which can be somewhat like my paintball experience. Things come flying at you from all directions. Today has been one of those days. There's been nothing out of the ordinary, but there's been a great deal of it coming all at once. It's on days like these that poor decisions can be made, moving quickly from one thing to another and not taking time to work out what the next best step might be. I found that there are times when this happens one day after another. The easy trap to fall into is to begin to think you're indispensable and not to take the time you need. We all need to stop and take stock from time to time. When a day like this comes along, I'm always reminded of Jesus in Mark chapter 1. It's very early in his ministry, and he attends Sabbath worship at the synagogue in Capernaum. During that time, he heals a man with an evil spirit, and then does many more healings, including Peter's mother-in-law. After all these events, early the next morning, Jesus goes to a solitary place to pray. Peter goes out to find him and to try to take him back into town. But Jesus says, "No, we have to take the message to other places." I've always found this passage an important one to reflect upon. Everything's going well for Jesus. He's hitting his stride, people are being healed. Yet he goes away to be with his Father. He knows that he's about his Father's business, and he needs to spend time in quietness with him. Too easily we become caught up in the maelstrom and forget where our help comes from. The second thing is, he doesn't lose sight of the vision. It would be simple for him to remain in Capernaum and become a local celebrity. But he doesn't do that. Why? Because, as he says, others have to hear the message. In our busyness, whether it is doing things as I've been today, or thinking about things over and over again, let us take time to intentionally be with our Heavenly Father and to learn from him. Once again, thank you for being here. Just a quick reminder of the litany tonight at 6 o'clock. So until I see you again, God bless and stay safe.